Monday,
Yeah.
March 8th. Hope you're well. You look strong. How's your hand
Oh, come
healing,
on.
by the way?
Come on. Well, you know what? Check this out. This is a homemade splint. I mean, it probably looks like a homemade splint, but went to the Rite Aid and they didn't have the splint that I need. So
You get a
I'm on the,
popsicle stick, a little
I'm on
tape.
basically these are kebab skewers on each side of my
There you
finger
go.
wrapped with tape. So
As they
there's no
say,
glamour here, man.
No, there's
Dude,
no
I
glamour.
mean,
Necessity is the
come on.
mother of invention.
Playing hurt, and as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm gonna just tape it up, man. I'm gonna tape it up and just see how I can go, Skip. I'm gonna go as much. I'm gonna give you as much as I can.
I know, and
as
that's because that's who you are. Is that a symbol behind you, by the way? Is that like a Zildjian or a Ziz? Oh no, it's
a
not
Zildjian.
a symbol.
It's a mouse pad, but
look at you.
Yeah, why wouldn't I have a Zildjian symbol mouse pad?
I'm sure. I hope they gave it to you as one of the premier drummers in rock history. Now, speaking of rock history, by the way, quickly,
there's always something in rock history.
I don't expect you to know this.
Nah, I might have it. What do you got?
But 1977, great year for sort of debut albums. And on this date, 1977,
I think you got a Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf.
Wow.
I think you have a Dire Straits first album.
Wow.
How am I
throwing stuff?
I think you got
Boston debut.
You might have Boston's first album. You know that's an upside down guitar. That's the rocket ship, right? Did you know
it's what I think ELO sort of ripped them off, or VC Vicey, but you're great calls
ELO,
by you.
ELO had rocket ships. All right. So anyway, what do we got? Give me,
Foreigner's debut album.
Interesting.
This date. I mean, Cold as Ice, Feels Like the First Time. I mean, just some wonderful songs.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, you can.
When someone writes a song called Feels Like the First Time, what do you think they're referring to?
I think for me, it's like when you hit a golf ball, you get that when you
sweet
hit it
spot.
right on the sweet spot. And it's like, you remember the first time you hit a golf ball really well. Well, you just don't, it's just an amazing.
Like it never did before. You know what I mean?
That's
it's
what
almost
I think. I don't know.
It's almost like you opened up a door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's another song on that album. And this is talking about the market in some ways today.
Yeah,
long way from home. So some of these tech names, semis, Tesla. I mean, Tesla is 34% from its all-time high. That's a long way from home there, brother.
Well, the question is, where is home? And this is there's we could have a very philosophical question follow through conversation about this, because home for Zoom or Zillow or Zydeco, for that matter, I don't know that it's where they were a month ago, and home for a lot of other bigger, more established tech companies might actually be higher than it is right now, if not for the move in rates. So home for tech stocks right now is a function of relative to, one, where they were, and then two, where you believe the trade-off is now on interest rates, now that there's no longer Tina, right?
Look at you.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, I mean, not that I want to go down this rabbit hole, but the first thing I think of, obviously, is great Tina Louise.
Yeah, Tina Louise.
Now, what's interesting, you brought up, where is home? Now, in 79, I believe, it was Supertramp that came out with Breakfast in America, and they obviously talked about taking the long way home. So maybe all these tech stocks are doing exactly that. Maybe home is another 10 or 15% lower, and they just took the circuitous route to get there. Good word, by the way.
Look, what you're talking is, if you were writing the logical song about the markets right now, that makes sense to me. But it might just be Goodbye Stranger, because I'm not sure Peloton was, despite the fact that you are looking chiseled these days by riding that bike every day during COVID. I think it's goodbye to a lot of money, I think, in the market for people that really thought this was going to go on forever. I'm not saying that Peloton's not a real company. I'm not saying that Zoom's not a real company. They have carved out businesses that are here to stay. Although I like getting to the gym, by the way, if it's not obvious to you, by the way. I like getting in there and pumping some iron. And
so you like getting into, I don't want to say altercations because I think that's a strong word, but disputes over sort of units.
I think the folks watching Commercial Break, and we've got such an incredibly loyal and passionate group of an audience, but who amongst you cannot tell you that you haven't been pissed off by the etiquette or lack thereof of someone in the gym, whether that's the guy who loads up a couple biscuits on the bench and then does maybe one set, then leaves for 15 minutes, comes back when you've taken those biscuits off, and maybe you've got one more biscuit aside, and he's pissed off like that's his machine. It's not his machine, guy. And you would never do that, but unfortunately, there's a little Charles Bronson gym rat in me that doesn't want that to happen. So,
by the way, Charles Bronson, I will tell you that amongst the many roles, he was not the main player in a movie called The Magnificent Seven, released in 1960. James Coburn, Yul Brynner, Robert Vaughn, Steve McQueen. Great movie. Eli Wallach, of course, playing. But I got to say, Charles Bronson, just a badass. But let me ask you this quickly. There was a time pre-COVID where if you got on the bench and you were sweating on it, you'd get off, and some guys might wipe it down, other guys would just leave it. And quite frankly, it didn't bother me either way. Do you think in this new world you're going to have to, every machine's going to have to be wiped down post workout or post
I don't think so. Look, first of all, are you a guy that wipes down? Because I see you as being a sweater out there, and it is important that guys like you wipe down. I don't, I don't look like I was sitting in a sauna when I pop on the bench and leave my mark behind. Now, in today's environment, you go over there, you do the obligatory wipe. The problem is when you spray the spray on it and then you leave, the next guy doesn't know whether that's somebody's sweat or someone's actually wet it down and sprayed it, and it's some kind of disinfectant. So you got to be careful about that. It's
no doubt.
You almost have double vision when you're looking at a machine that's sweaty, but maybe it's not sweat.
Well, before we get out of here, although the market seems benign today, I think we have a bit of a stormy Monday here for you Allman Brother fans that used to go in the month of March.
Well,
just throwing it out there.
Look, if it's a stormy Monday, just know this: Tuesday's just as bad.
That's
right. On that, guy, be careful tomorrow. Be careful out there, and wipe it down. All right, keep it clean.